Okay, so I just changed both of I've only done 2 planar projections so far, and I changed both of the projections, projection width and height, to 5. That means that they are proportional in this space, my UV space. Okay, now I need to select the leg, and I'm going to project it, planar projection. This time I'm going to be a little bit more picky about it though. I need to make sure this plane that is projected, this leg, kind of lines up with the leg. So I'm going to go to rotate, click on rotate right here. Well, let me do this instead. I can click rotate. Let me show you both methods. Okay. So I can click on rotate here, but my manipulator disappears, so I can't see that plane anymore. But I can still rotate it, and I can see the results here in my UV texture editor. I need to change the height and width values to do the same value, and then this starts to make more sense right here. So I'm going to change this to a negative value, so I can just say times equals the -1, and it inverts that value, and now I can see it that it's kind of looks the same right there. Okay, so if I press T, I can go back to my projection tool, move this off to the side here. If I can grab that handle, being stubborn. There we go. So move that up and out of the way for now. And now I need to do the arm. And I'm going to do the same thing with the arm here. Select it, my planar projection, apply. Change these both to 5 because that's my standard value this time. And make sure that that plane is in line with the arm as best as possible. Which looks like it did a pretty good job. And then I'll move this off to the side into its own space. Okay, now I need to come in here to my UV texture editor and start to unfold these things. So I've been kind of counterproductive. By doing the planar projection, I erased some of my cut UV edges. So what I really should have done is just separate these out first and then come back and then cut a seam into them, which I'm about to have to do now, instead of doing it and cutting the seam and then losing it. So if the seam doesn't continue all the way around, then I don't get a UV shell, basically. So let me go to edge mode. I'm going to select the appropriate edges. Shift right click, cut UVs. Okay, so that was on the head here. So now what I can do for the head, just go ahead and wrap this one up. And go to UV mode. I'm going to select all these UVs. Control right click to shell. And I need to make sure it's out in its own space. Okay, then I'm going to just control right click to shell border. I missed it. To shell border. And then I'm going to shift and click and drag over the entire mesh. And that's going to select everything but the border. And the reason I want to do this is so now I can relax the mesh and unfold and relax the mesh. So I'm going to click on this tool right here in the UV texture editor, the smooth UV tool, and I'm going to unfold it. just a tiny bit. That was too much. Don't like how. There you go. If I hold down Control, it does it in smaller increments. I can relax it. Okay, now that portion of the T-Rex is all complete. I might have relaxed that a little bit too much. The thing that we're looking for is to make sure that this UV, like these faces, are as best we can, they're proportional to the screen space that they have. So this face right here, do this. Sort of okay. This one, still pretty close. The other thing we're looking for is not just about the same amount of screen space, but also if it's the right sort of shape. For instance, let me show you bad. If I were to do this, that makes them the wrong shape, and it doesn't match up anymore to what it is out here on my model. Okay, so I've undone the head. Now I need to do the body. Body's a little bit more tricky because it has holes in it. So I'm going to select this, just one of the UVs over there, Control right click to shell borders. Then I'm going to deselect this outside border by holding down Control and dragging over these UVs. And I'm going to move these UVs in. I know it's messing up the mesh, but that's okay. It will be fixed here in a second. The reason I'm doing this is I know that these faces here in the center are going to need more space than what they currently had. May need more than that even. Okay. Now, if I Control right click to shell border, then shift click and drag over the entire thing, it's going to invert my selection. And I can use that same tool to unfold and relax. So I'm going to unfold it a little bit. Relax it a little bit. Okay. So that sort of worked. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more space to it. So I'm going to switch back to my border. And I'm going to deselect all the UVs except for the ones that go around the leg there. And then I'm going to scale these down with my regular old scale tool. Now it looks a lot better. Now I'm going to do the same thing with these UVs up here. Instead of doing some fancy selecting, I think I'll just go around and select them. My scale tool, I'm going to scale them in. And move to the center. And now the torso is done. Or not the torso, but the main body is done. Okay, now all I have to do is a leg and an arm. So let's do the arm next. So I'm going to go to Edge Mode. Select some inconspicuous edges. Actually, I think this time I'm just going to select the ones that make sense. So, select this edge, it leads all the way down. If I double click it, it just cuts it all the way through. But I want to deselect these ones here, so I don't need to cut the ones that go outside of my already cut edges. Okay, so I'm going to shift right click, cut UVs. Now, I can go to UV shell mode and I can select one of these at a time, Control right click and go 2 UVs, switch to my move tool, and I